It's 10 years worth of color pencil, compressed into something that gives me a visual representation of like how much work I put in.
You've kept that?
Yep.
That's crazy.
I'm Craig Cundiff, artist and a father. Yeah. Found my way into art through picking up a crayon the first time I was like 3 years old. Just was always something that I had in me, and my parents from the very beginning sort of cultivated that love for art and put art materials in my hands. And ever since I can remember, I think it was like first grade, and there was a kid who drew really well, and I saw that, and it was sort of like this little competitive streak in me that, he did something that I, appreciated and sort of motivated me and inspired me to pick it up and see if I can, throw a little bit more mustard on it. And I think I grew up loving sports and, picked up drawing basketball cards and Sports Illustrated pictures. And then it was like drawing Street Fighter characters. And then like kind of looking back on it, I realized like how much that is figure drawing and, building up those skill sets of the figure and dynamic sort of like, dynamic action. And was, throughout my life, was always trying to get into like drawing contests, and, was always just working on art and putting pieces of paper on the ground and drawing one picture that then I needed to put another piece of paper next to it so that I could continue the drawing. And then after a while, the whole kitchen floor is covered with paper, and there's this story was just growing and growing. And I think growing up in New Orleans or outside New Orleans and Louisiana, sort of that jazz culture and music culture, sort of that rich history of figurative art, was a great place to sort of be an artist. I think my work comes together directly from an emotional anchor, and I'm always looking for I get it's hard to talk about my art because I'm always searching for this space in between words and this space in between emotions of happiness and sadness and this ephemeral quality that I'm always trying to find this story that can be told within just a few words, or there's this huge storytelling device that I'm trying to reach to people without saying too much, and I think that's where the heart of it is. And it comes from color, it comes from form, it comes from I think what I'm trying to say as an artist, and I hope that is coming from a good place, but it comes from, I want to say it comes from happiness, but it comes from everything. It comes from all the emotions, trying to put them all together and say something that is easy to read on the surface, but then as you get underneath it, there's a heart to it that I try to bring to all my pieces. had always been attracted to street art and graffiti and that sort of, you know, a different path. And, you know, I made it a really intentional decision to start reaching out to muralists and, hey, can I assist you? You don't have to pay me, just let me come and help you paint. And after I assisted a couple people, you know, by happenstance, happened to bump into somebody who was interested in putting up a mural in our community. And from that, you know, moment, you know, I made a decision that it wasn't gonna be just about me and my art. It was like, who am I gonna work with on this piece? And, you know, who's gonna, you know, come up with me together? And through that, I reached out to Ari Glass. You know, we did our first mural, and then that was what I thought was success. You know, like, I have built this relationship, I have worked with somebody, I have created something that I was proud of, but I was proud of it because of the way that I went about it. And, you know, then the next person hit me up and were like, hey, we saw this mural that you did, you know, we really like it, can you do something for this? And then after that second one, and I, you know, did it with Ari again. I was like, we got something here. You know, we have something special and something that I couldn't have done, you know, on my own. Because it was in New Orleans and I was able to sort of like pull from all this like wealth of sort of understanding the culture and the colors and the people, and being able to, you know, build off of this place that's, you know, I'm speaking, what I'm saying is something that is lived. I'm not, you know, I'm not fabricating an illusion to trick somebody into thinking this emotion. Like, I'm feeling that emotion and just trying to emote it through, you know, colors that I know when people see it, they're gonna know that this is New Orleans. Or, you know, like, the colors I was pulling was like colors off of this like historic color chart that once you were developing in the French Quarter, you know, in the early years, they gave you a color chart, like these are the colors that you have to use, called like the Vauqueré color chart. And I looked at that chart and I was like, I like this, you know, I took like, these are the colors that are represented in the buildings around. And, you know, my friend Nicole, who was like the girl on the left in that piece, was her and her friend is sort of in this consoling, you know, like consoling place. And when we were taking that photo, like one of the girls, like she had gotten her nails done, but then one of the nails had popped off, you know, like right before we took the photo, and she was starting to feel a little like anxious about it, you know, like I have my hand here, but the fingernail had, you know, the nail had popped off. And in that moment, I was like, you know, that is the story. Like you don't have all your stuff together, but you're still able to, you know, give your hand to somebody else, you know?